Well, I just got home from seeing Wicked, and it's safe to say the music, the art, the choreography, everything going on here was pretty wicked. Let's talk about it. Yes, Wicked hits theaters this weekend and this week, and it has a lot of buzz. It has a lot of positive word of mouth from early reactions and eventually the review embargo lifting. And I'm here to say, for the most part, it is well deserved and owned. This movie, which is produced by Universal, which is directed by John Chu, and has a lot of just heart to it, is breathtakingly great. I'm somebody who has never seen, listened to, or know anything besides the musical adaptation of Wicked, besides the main synopsis that Alphaba and Glinda are kind of role reversed from what we see in The Wizard of Oz, and that Glinda, or Galinda, is a more mean, girly, self-centered type individual, and coming in, and Alphaba is more of the hero that maybe becomes a villain perspective-wise later on. And that's about all I knew about Wicked. I also knew this was going to be a part one, and in the opening title sequence, much like Dune did a few years ago, this is a part one movie. And if there was any critiques I do have for this movie, I think it ends on a gigantic bang. I think it ends on an emotional high moment that will be, for most people, captivating, and even for me a little bit, puts a great stamp on the movie. But I do have the small critique that this did feel like a first half story, and that we didn't get a full, complete overall movie story, to a T. But that doesn't stop the greatness of Wicked all around. When you talk about this movie, you have to talk about the production design, the costume work, the hair and makeup, and just the overall direction that this movie takes under John Chu. This is a beautiful movie. This is a movie that fits in the world, and it's well thought out. I was worried when I first saw previews that things might not hit it hits the way it needs to, but Wicked does not have that issue at all. This movie is just production design to 100%, and it's a reason why I think it's not only going to be nominated for production design, costume design, hair and makeup, but I could see it winning a lot of these categories. It's absolutely stunning, and it feels so practical and real outside of some, visual effects CGI, that it just allows this world to be breathed in and just works, again, very well on the screen. It's very bright, it's very visible, you kind of see everything that's going on. So huge props to John Chu, the prop department, the production design department, costume department, for making this world feel realistic and lived in. Because anytime you go into fantasy land like this and you go more practical, it can either go very well like it did in Wicked, or it can go very not well. But here, it went absurdly well. But that's not the only amazing positive part that I think will get Oscar and award season hype. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo as leads. I know Ariana Grande is going to be pushed as a supporting actress for the overall, but their lead characters of Glinda and Alphaba are just so well matched together. And there's a scene in the movie that you've seen in the trailers at a dance club where this movie went from being, a nice, cute, almost High School Musical fantasy type movie to an emotional powerhouse, and transcended itself into one of the best films of 2024 for me. But they aren't the only two people I think doing a great performance. I think Jonathan Bailey, who comes in as Fiyero, does an amazing job in his role, kind of being that popular guy, but there's more to him than meets the eye, and as his layers kind of come down, you get to see the interesting beauty of his character. Bog Woodsman, played by Ethan Slater, also does a good job throughout, but Michelle Yeoh, Oscar-winning Michelle Yeoh, as Madame Morrible, again, works so well. Jeff Goldblum and as the Wizard, I feel like that was, again, the Wizard himself was part of this movie that I felt was a little bit first party and not complete overall. But the whole crew there, though, of that main acting crew were knockout amazing. The other thing that was knockout amazing was how much this movie felt like I was watching a Broadway musical on screen. I'm talking about all the musical acts, all the people in the musical acts, the choreography, the live singing, you can tell was live singing, just how everything was shaped and moved around. If you're a fan of Broadway musicals and going to see musicals on Broadway or see show plays, Wicked is a movie I think you'll very much appreciate because it does bring that element to Broadway into the big screen very well. The songs are catchy. I think they just work very well. But also know, if you're somebody who doesn't want to go see a Broadway musical, that Wicked also may not be your taste of medicine as well. The other thing I think people may not like about this movie is that classic trope of the Wicked Witch of the West is more of the hero here that is going through a lot of emotional stress and just a lot of emotional beats, and how she's treated for being, green, and how people look at her. There's a lot of clear civil rights parallels being drawn in this movie, and for some people they may not like that, but for me I thought it worked very well, and I think it highlighted the character of Alphaba and even highlighted the character of Glinda and their character arcs throughout the movie. Overall, I think Wicked is going to be a big player during awards season. I think it has a chance maybe for director. It's definitely going to be in the Best Picture category. Maybe it slips into adapted screenplay. I don't know fully. But all of the techie categories, Wicked has a great shot at playing in and having a great shot at winning. This is a movie that is going to be carrying, I think, a lot of nominations, could be carrying a lot of wins. And since it even has a couple of actresses that will likely get nominated in the acting categories, this is a top Best Picture contender. And and it's going to be something that we're going to see, I think, play well through the Golden Globes. I think it'll play well at SAG. Could play well at the BAFTAs. Definitely will play well at the Oscars. I am just so impressed with the craftsmanship of this movie. I'm so impressed with the acting of this movie, the choreography, the direction, the production design. Everything about Wicked worked very well for me. And even though Emerald is featured a lot in the movie, this movie's getting a diamond because I just enjoyed Wicked throughout. And if it's a movie you're on the edge of wondering if you should go and see, do so. It's like almost 3 hours long, but it did not feel 3 hours long. Whether it was the musical beats or just the overall good story pacing of the movie and the editing, everything flowed very well to make 2 hours and 50 minutes or 2 hours and 40 minutes feel like a regular 2-hour movie. But have you seen Wicked? Do you plan to see Wicked? Tell me in those comments down below. And do you think this is going to be a contender for the Oscars? I know I do, but I look forward to seeing your thoughts in the comments. And again, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you around in my next review.